Right, good morning everyone. The weather's turned out a bit nicer at the moment. Now today I thought we'd have a little look at an automatic electric phone by GTE. It's GTE Automatic Electric. As far as I know, it's a Model 80. And what this is, I've got a picture of it obviously to start the talk, but this is the case. These were brought out as a competitor to the 500 set. Bell or Western Electric brought out the 500 set, which was used with their installations throughout the country. But there was also other authorities which supplied telephones and that in America, and these were provided by the phone we're seeing now. Well-made phone, as I say, very, very similar in shape to the 500 and a good competitor. You see on this one, the only label that's on there is property of General Telephone Company of Illinois. So that is obviously one of the private companies which were providing telephones to the general public. It's a nice metal base. I believe the moderner ones have plastic base, but this is a good metal base. Fairly old. I would think it's probably 70s or thereabouts, might even be earlier. It goes back a few years. Let's turn this over so we can have a look at the innards. Do this gently because I've only got one hand, or one spare hand. As you can see, I've released from the catch. Let's move that out of the way. The old cable is quite the old type, and it's got an old style of plug. Well, I say old, it's a modern plug, but it's a bit different to what they are now. Looking inside, we've got the dial. Now this is obviously an automatic dial, which is the typical shape and bits. You've got your little pillar of your springs, which are in there, and your contacts, and turn him over. Yep, we've got that good old space between the 0 and the finger stop. You've got an area code on there. I don't know where area code is. Obviously somewhere in America. Presumably in Illinois, I would think. There's your area code. GTE General Telephone. It's rather interesting. Anyhow, needless to say, it's a well-made dial. You've got your trademark there, the regulator, your pulse springs, which is those ones, and your dial off normals. Nicely coloured wires so you know where they go. I haven't got a diagram with this one, or at least I'll say I haven't got a diagram. I can probably find the diagram somewhere on the looking at eBay and at Google, so it's not impossible to get a diagram, but there's not one in this one. It uses not a network arrangement. This uses printed circuit board, where you have your components mounted on the board. You have your terminals there. There might even be a date there, but I can't really see. Without pulling capacitors out or do anything like that, which I'm not going to do, I can't even see a date on those. You've got your induction coil there, side tone. The date on there's another It's a capacitor hiding under there. I wish I could see a date, but unfortunately I can't. Well-made ringer. This is wired up just on 2 terminations, so probably this was just for what they call a straight line ringer, which would be on a normal line, non-party line. Remember, in England we had party lines which were just 2 subscribers, but in America it was more than 2, and it was quite intricate how they arranged the calling of each one. They varied the type of connections to the bell, and it got quite involved. Obviously saved line plant, because you just need 1 pair of wires going out to the subscribers. They'd obviously branch if it's in an office, or not an office, in flats or somewhere like that. You would just, 2 wires would go up to it, and then they'd branch off to the individual phones. And I'm just looking at it's got the bell equivalents there. This is ring equivalent number, and that's 1. This is to do with the power or the strength of the ringing. I don't normally worry about that here. The bell rings quite well, and in fact I'm on Virgin now, which seems to be quite good. Only one problem: it can ring trip if you haven't got enough resistance online. So yeah, it has come in to cause a bit of trouble, but nevertheless, not to worry. Each of these phones that I'm having a look at now, because these are ones I've had for years, I check them over afterwards. I plug them in, see if they work, and so far so good. So recapping, this is I think it's the Model 8, or 80 rather, Model 80, and it was the competitor of the Western Electric 500 set by Bell, and these were used on non-Bell companies throughout America. That is more or less all I've got to say. The handset, by the way, is for all purpose the same as you would find on the Western Electric. No name on it. The cap's a little bit different, but it's basically the same, or it's very, very similar. Don't know whether I might have pointed this out. You've got your name there as well. GTE, Automatic Electric. GTE actually bought out Automatic Electric, which goes back many, many years to a gentleman called Strowger, Alwyn B. Strowger, who was an undertaker. And the story goes that a competitor of his wife was nicking the phone calls that were going through, and Strowger himself was losing any work in burying people, so he devised an automatic switch. This is basically the story. And funny enough, a story I gave when we had what was known as an open day at the local telephone exchange. This is going back a few years, and well before eBay and stuff like that. And the person I was with turned round to me and said, "Oh, that's a load of," I won't say the words he used, meaning I'd made it up. And fortunately, my line manager was on my side, and he said, "No, he's perfectly right." So there we go, a little anecdote. And this gentleman Strowger was in Kansas, And as I say, he devised an automatic switch known as a Strauger switch, which many countries adopted, including England. The switch we use, the pre-2000 type switch, was almost the same as the American switch, but they did alter it to the a modern switch, a 2000 type, I think it was called a 2000 type, and then after that the 4000 type, which, without getting into too many details, that was how our calls used to be routed. Now it's totally different. I don't even know how it's done now. I would say I left BT, or Post Office, many years ago in 1992. Best thing I ever did. So it's a long time ago. And that is thanks to dear old Maggie. And I'm very, very grateful. Anyhow, I'm going off on a tangent again, which I sometimes do. There we have the phone. Just put a reminder in. This is Sunday, so Andy's shed will probably appear today. We'll hope it will, at 6:30. It was originally 6 o'clock, but I think he comes on now at 6. So if you're interested in aspects of telephones, he mainly does the British ones, but not exclusively. So, you know, it always makes it interesting to listen in and join in. So that is all I've got to say on this one. Thanks for watching. Any comments please make. I will put this one back and obviously try them out, see if it works, and put it back in the collection. Thanks again. Thank you.